Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dewayne Williams. I am the founder of M.A.C Enterprise Consulting. Now, I used to say I sit in the CEO chair, and I saw something, I read something that says, what's the difference between a CEO and a founder? A founder is creative. A CEO is an officer, an executive. Tomato, tomato. So I'm trying to change my language as well. I used to say I sit in the CEO chair because why? I'm only sitting in the chair. I'm not occupying the chair. Somebody else is going to sit in the chair as soon as I can find me another CEO. But then someone kind of challenged me to push past that and say, what's the difference between a CEO and a founder? And when I went to do my research, I realized I am the founder of M.A.C Enterprise. Speak it into existence and then it'll come. It's an internal thing. Don't worry about it. I'll explain more once things unfold. But nevertheless, I run a full-service business consulting firm where I teach people about business structures. I teach people that if you have an LLC, it will never help you. The reason why I say if you have an LLC and you own that business by yourself, that it's hurting you, it's because most people don't understand that they don't know what an LLC is. Most people believe that whenever they have an LLC that it protects them, and it doesn't. Most people don't understand why you always have to use your social security number to go get a loan. Most people use the EIN number and don't even realize that they don't qualify to have one. So it's like we're playing by a set of rules that you don't even qualify to play by. And unfortunately for me, hello Mario, unfortunately for me, I had to go through a lot of life experiences and hit a lot of roadblocks until I realized those roadblocks would have never been there had my structure been changed. To simplify that in a way, I am going to teach you about the limited liability company in a way that, you may not have heard before. And my only intent is to educate you with the hopes of you at least doing your own research. And, if you feel that we can help you, I'll be more than happy to help you if you need help. I typically start these conversations off with something like, most people have an EIN number because that's the first thing that they told you to go get was an EIN number. But we don't realize that some of us don't even know what the EIN stands for. The E in EIN stands for Employer Identification Number. Employer Identification Number. One of the biggest challenges that I see in business owners is we don't do our research to figure out what words mean. Words have meaning, words have power, and things of that nature. The definition of the word employer. An employer is a person or organization that employs people. To employ someone is to give them work and pay them for it. Now, that seems very simple. But then when I start to ask the question of how can you be defined as an employer if you don't have any employees, typically people get defensive. But the truth is, how can you be defined as an employer when you don't pay nobody to do a job? And I want you to think about that for just a second. You're using a number that is meant for people, that pays people, but you don't pay nobody to do a job. Whenever you use a number that's meant for people or organizations that pay people, Whenever you use that number and you're not paying nobody, then what you are indirectly saying is you also get to reap the benefits. You get the same benefits as the people who pay people. That's untrue. There's no way possible that you can, you can receive the same benefits. You're not even using it in the same context. So typically, whenever we go start the business, we go ask the IRS. We go apply for the EIN, right? But we never ask the IRS, do you need one? According to the Internal Revenue Service, you will need an EIN if you answer yes to any of the following questions. The first question that the IRS asks is, do you have employees? Do you pay people, and do those people have taxes automatically taken out of their checks? 98% of business owners who own a business by themselves cannot answer yes to this question. The IRS also say, do you operate your business as a corporation or a partnership? Most people can't answer yes because you chose the limited liability company. Do you file any of these tax returns? Employment, excise or alcohol, tobacco and firearms? Do you withhold taxes on income other than wages? Paid to a non-resident alien? Does your business have a retirement plan or a KEO plan? And is your business involved in a trust, estate, real estate, mortgage, investment, conduit, nonprofit, farmers co-op, or plan administrator? So what happens is most people go get a business, but we don't do the research on anything. We just typically open the business based on what we heard other people say and do. So typically, whenever you don't qualify to have an EIN, you should be using your social security number. But again, the internet and what you heard tells you don't never use your social security number. Use an EIN for the business, but you don't even qualify to have it. So in this moment, where I always try to get business owners to understand is, before you get defensive, before you start letting your antennas raise and all of that good stuff, I like to level set the room. What do I mean? I like to go ahead and put it all out there. None of us went to school to get a degree in entrepreneurship. None of us went to school to learn how to be a business owner. I have a master's degree in business. School never taught me none of this, right? And whenever we can, accept the fact that we didn't go to school to learn this, we have to also accept the fact that it's possible that we made some decisions based on what other people said and not truth. So what happens is, we go get the EIN number. We register that LLC. The IRS gives us our EIN document. The EIN document will read your business name, LLC, and your name is going to be underneath it. It's going to have your first and last name as the sole member. Here's another factual statement. No one told you what that meant. Nobody told you why your name is on that paper. No one told you why your name was on the paper, but yet you hear the internet and everybody else say, if you go get an LLC, it's separated from you. Now, I'm never going to say use common sense. I just want us to have a logical conversation. If the internet, your CPA, your attorney, and everybody telling you that the LLC is separated from you, why your name on the paper? When the IRS gave you an EIN number, why is your first name and last name on this paper if the LLC is supposed to be separated from you? And typically, this is where the mistakes start to really happen.